Last lesson, we introduced the fact that for the Christian, there's one bridge, meaning one certain issue, that we can't choose to cross when the time comes. We can't procrastinate on this. We can't wait to deal with it later. The reason we can't is because the certain issue is that of the Christian's arch enemy, Satan. And it's because he's chosen not to wait. In fact, he's already been dealing with us. And make no mistake, he was created by God with mad skills. And since his fall from grace, he's had centuries to hone them into an A game against us humans. With this lesson, we march towards taking a look at where and when he became our arch enemy. We'll do this because it begins to expose his primary attack, his number one strategy, the pattern of his field-tested A game. Now, as we turn to Genesis chapter 3, let's remind ourselves of what's already happened in Genesis chapters 1 and 2. We've seen God's 6 days of creation. We've seen God's creation of paradise, the Garden of Eden, a botanical heaven on earth. And we've seen God take Adam across this particular bridge indirectly. Indirectly in two ways. First, God alerted Adam to the fact that he needed to be on guard. The garden needed a watchman at the gates. Second, God gave him a command that was, and still is, the perfect defense against Satan and his honed attack. As Adam obeys this command, he defeats the arch-enemy's A game. It's just that simple. It was that way for Adam. It is still this way for us. So, God in his wisdom and grace ensured that Adam did not procrastinate, that he crossed this particular bridge now and not later. Continuing along in chapters 1 and 2, we saw God bring all the animals to Adam for naming. Names which often reflected something Adam observed about the animal, one of which, ironically, had to be the serpent. What was it that Adam observed that he chose the name serpent? While naming all the animals, God painfully confirmed to Adam that there was no one like him, that there was no other humankind. And it was God who said, "It is not good for man to be alone." It was not good for him to be in existence, even in paradise,
and just a little bit lonely. But all that is about to change.
God removed Adam's loneliness. He created Eve. So, in reminding ourselves of what's happened in chapters 1 and 2, we have enough backstory, context, to begin chapter 3, which we will begin in our next lesson. Adam now has a helpmate, someone that will help him in the battle against the arch enemy. Next lesson, we'll read where and when the very first skirmish took place, though I'm positive you've already heard this story, and we'll begin breaking down his A game, which will help us see how obedience to God's command is the perfect defense.